Hi, everyone, and welcome to Math with Mrs. Swin on Monday. Hey, everybody, today's lesson 10 relates centimeters and meters. I love it. This is going to be an exciting day today and a great way to start our week. And another great way to start the week will be this, a joke, of course. So here's your first joke for the day. What's worse than finding a worm in your apple? Finding half a worm. How about this? What is a computer's favorite snack? Computer chips. Let's do one more. How does a scientist freshen his or her breath? With experiments. All right, enough with those jokes. We'll set that aside. And let's get started on page 703. So go ahead in your book, and we're going to talk today about meters and centimeters, and we're going to compare them. Now, we know a meter stick is something that looks just like this. It's very long. It's even longer than a yardstick. So a meter stick has a lot of, let's turn it this way, Mrs. Swin. It's got smaller increments, if you can tell, and the smaller increments will go all the way to 100. So these increments that are listed those are centimeters. Now, I will share with you the little teeny tiny black marks that are between like 65 and 66. Those are millimeters. So they're even smaller. There's 1,000 millimeters on this meter stick. So today we're going to go ahead and do some measuring of items using centimeters and also meters. Now, Mrs. Swin's going to help you with most of these. You can go ahead later on and do your own measurements if you'd like. But because some of us might not have a meter stick at home, some of you might not have a tape measure, we want to just make sure we got everybody covered. Now, remember, your dad or mom probably has a little tape measure like this. And these tape measures also show centimeters. And you know by now 100 centimeters equal a meter. So you can take a tape measure and go all over the house and measure away. You can measure your brother, measure your sister, measure your dog. Have fun with it. So let's go ahead and start with our page 703. It says, choose a large object from the picture, such as a table or a window. Well, Mrs. Swin's going to choose the table in her basement here. So we're going to see if we can make this work. So Mrs. Swin is, Mrs. Swin has a lot of paper on her table right now. That's because she's a very busy woman. So we're going to go over here and measure. First, I'm going to use my meter stick. Okay. It's 1 meter. Okay. Well, what's funny, with my table, it's 1.5 meters. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and we can write down with our pen 1.5. So let's go ahead on our meters. We can put 1 and 1/2 meters. Now I can immediately, I know how many centimeters it is because I know that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. And I know a half of 100 is 50. So 100 plus 50 equals 150 centimeters. 150. Awesome. You did it. Let's turn the page. On the next page, under guided practice, we have the basketball rim. I could run outside right now to the basketball rim and measure it, but that sounds like it's a little cold out there. So Mrs. Swin is going to go ahead and follow the measurements that they're going to give us right there. So the first measurement, it says the basketball hoop is about, and they're saying 3 meters. So we'll go ahead and just trace over that 3. And then it says, if it's 3 meters, how many centimeters will it be? Well, my friends, again, there's 100 centimeters in one of the meter sticks. So 100, 200, 300. 300 centimeters. Now it says find the object and measure the length of each object, and do it twice just to make sure. The first time we're going to do it in centimeters, and the second time we're going to do it in meters. All right, Mrs. Swin is going to now turn. Well, Mrs. Swin's first going to drop the math book. Now we're going to turn it. Okay, we're going to turn, down, down, down. All right, Mrs. Swin has a door here to her, to my pantry. So I've got all my, canned jams and all sorts of good stuff. I'm going to measure that door first in centimeters. So I'm going to use my meter stick, and I'm going to go ahead. You know what? I think we're going to do this in meters first. I am the teacher. I have made my decision. I'm going to go over here to this door. And the first thing I'm going to do is measure my door. So there it is. That's about, let's see if you can see it right there. Okay, there's one. I'm going to put my finger here. And there's 2 meters. Well, that worked out perfect. It's 2 meters. So I'm going to put first my meters. If it's 2 meters, how many centimeters would that be? Now, remember, centimeters will be, there's 100 centimeters in that meter, so 2 meters would be 200 centimeters. You're right. Let's take a look at a chair. Now, Mrs. Swin pulled up a chair, and it's like a little kid's high chair. So I'm going to measure this, and it looks like, if I turn it around to my meter side, is exactly 1 meter. So if it's 1 meter, I know then that it's how many centimeters? 100. You got it. Next is a file cabinet. And I'm going to transport myself now back to the classroom to my 3, there's 4 drawers in my file cabinet. So, she's transporting. I've been transported now back to the classroom. All right. Oh, I know the background looks the same, but it really isn't. So there I am. I'm going to run over and I'm doing my measurement. It's about 1 3/4 meter. We're going to make this a little tricky. 3/4 of a meter means when I broke my meter up in 4 parts, it's 3 of those parts. So now I have to figure out, well, Mrs. Swin, this would be the same as saying 100, because 1 full meter plus, what would be 3/4? This is how we look at 3/4. How many quarters in a dollar? 4 quarters. 25, 50, 75, 100. So if I had 3 of those quarters, 25, 50, 75, guess what? 100 plus 75 is 175. So there, that's how many centimeters we are looking at. Talk math, which unit of measure gives you a more exact measurement? Well, of course, centimeters will. The smaller the increments, the smaller the amount, that's the more precise, the more exact we can get. Let's turn the page. On the next page, they are giving us several objects. So Mrs. Swin she went out yesterday and she measured all of these objects. And so I'm going to give you the objects in meters. And I'd like for you to turn around and you're going to convert them to centimeters. So my bike outside, and Mr. Swin and I have been doing quite a bit of biking. I enjoy that. So my bike is about 1 1.5 meters. So I need you to write 1 1/2. The hallway, let's make sure that's a hallway. At school, and I had to go there yesterday to pick up all the packets and all the homework, is about 3 meters. Mrs. Swint doesn't really have a desk, but my oval-shaped desk at school, when I measured it, was 2 meters. A teeter-totter at the park down the road, Secor Park's usually where I go, that was 2.5 meters. And the basketball court at the school playground is about 5 meters, we'll say. So this one's got a hair, this long hair, got to get a cut. All right, so your job now, we're going to convert. I'm going to help you a little bit, just a little bit. We have 1.5, so you know you have to add 100 plus a half of a meter stick, which is 50, and that will tell you your centimeters. All right, you have 3 meters. Well, you know this would be 100 plus 100 plus 100. So you then know how many centimeters you have. That's a plus sign, and this is the 100. And you know then if this desk is 2 meters, it's 100 plus 100. This is supposed to be a half. So in this case, 2.5. We have 100, because that's 1 meter. We have another meter, that's 2 meters, plus a half. And we know a half of $1 or half of 100 is 50. So you finish the centimeter part of that. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next page. And we have some problem solving. So in the problem solving, it says Kate's garden is 9 meters long. Stella's garden is 954 centimeters long. Whose garden is longer? Well, the secret when you have different measurements, different units, and a unit is like meters, centimeters, we need to get them all the same. So we go towards the smallest unit. So what's smaller, a centimeter or a meter? You're right, a centimeter is smaller. So to find out whose garden is longer, my question here, I need to make sure I convert both of these to make sure they're both in centimeters. Well, this part, Stella, she's not. No problem, Stella. You have 954. That's cool. So I'm going to put 954 because I know that's Stella. Now, Kate, and we'll call it Caitlin because that's more fun, right, Caitlin? And so Caitlin's garden is 9 meters. Well, I know that 100 meters are in a meter stick. And if I have 9 of these, I'm going to have 900. Ding. So I'm going to have to compare 954 to 900. So my friends, which number is greater? Of course, Stella's number is greater. Stella's garden is longer. Now you need to write all this. You need to show me the symbol of the greater sign because that tells your teacher, Mrs. Swint, that, hey, this is how I figured it out. I know 954 is greater than, this is my greater than 900. Then we have Brianna's. And Brianna's bedroom is 6 meters wide. Oliver's bedroom is 596 centimeters wide. Whose bedroom is wider? All right. Well, here's my question. I have to compare then 6 meters to 596 centimeters. The smaller unit of measurement is centimeters. So let's compare. We got Oliver here with 596 centimeters. And I have to figure out then how Brianna's room is 6 meters. Well, 6 meters means that it's 600. So which one is wider? If you said Brianna's, you are correct. I'm going to put Bree because my daughter-in-law's name is Brianna and she calls herself Bree. Brain builders. We have Gianna. Gianna jumped 1 meter. Parker jumped 75 centimeters. Question is, how many centimeters longer did Gianna jump than Parker? Well, if Gianna jumped 1 meter, we know that's 100 centimeters, right, everyone? I'm going to find some white space here. So I'm going to do 100. And Parker did 75. I have to subtract and find the answer. Couple things, my friends. First of all, I look at this and I think of money right away. $1. There are 4 quarters in $1. 3 quarters are going to be 75 cents. I know this is going to be, the answer is going to be 25. Now, if I wasn't sure, I can do my regrouping. So I can't take 5 away from 0. I have to go and I have to regroup. So I take 1 away from the hundreds. I give it to the tens. I take 1 away from the tens, and now I give that to the ones. And now I am all set. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 7 is 2. Yes, my friends, Gianna has jumped 25 centimeters farther than Parker. Abby's ribbon was 5 meters long. She cut off 35 centimeters. How long is the piece of ribbon now? Well, if her ribbon was 5 meters long and we're subtracting centimeters, again, I need to put everything in the same unit of measurement. 5 meters, we know, would be 5 100, so it's 500. I know then I have to subtract 35 centimeters. So 500 centimeters minus 35 centimeters. And I'm going to let you do that one on your own because you know how to regroup. And make sure you check your answer at the end. Remember, check it from the bottom up. All right. Next, your homework. Your homework this evening will be this. It says find the object, measure the length of each object in meters and centimeters. Mrs. Swin is now going to give you each of these in meters, and then you're going to turn around and you're going to switch it into centimeters. Now, if you prefer to do your own, by all means, measure away. I am fine with that. This is a kind of a tough unit to do virtual, but if we can do it, we will always figure out a way to make it work. So this rug right here, I'm going to say is 2 meters. So on your paper, you can write 2. The bike above is going to be 1.5. Makes me want to take a bike ride. I hope the weather's nice today. That's 1.5. The bed is going to be, I want it to be a little bit different. So I'm going to pretend it's a California king bed. It's 3 meters. It's really, really long. It's like for a giant. But I want to give you some variety here. Let's turn to the next page. Mrs. Swint's garage door. Oh, let's pretend it's for a really, she's got all sorts of cars in there. Mercedes and BMW and all sorts of good stuff. So we're going to say it's almost like 4 meters at least. And the table that's right over here by my couch, I'm going to just put 1 meter. So now you convert that to centimeters and see how well you do. At the end of the race, Carly was 3 meters ahead of Reagan. How many centimeters was she ahead? So you just have to know how many centimeters are in 3 meters. Remember, 100 centimeters, 1 meter. If I add 35 centimeters plus 65 centimeters, how many centimeters or meters will I have in all? You got this. You can add. All right, my friends, you're all set to go. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.